what overthinking really does to your brain and why you can't just stop thinking. Imagine this. It's late at night. Your body's tired, your eyes are heavy, but your mind, it's running a marathon. You replay conversations, you overanalyze small moments. You imagine worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't switch it off. That is overthinking. But here's the real question. What is overthinking actually doing to your brain? Is it just thinking too much, or is something deeper happening inside your mind? Today, we're going to break this down, not just on the surface, but deep inside the psychology and neuroscience of overthinking. Let's get one thing clear first. Thinking is normal. In fact, it's necessary. Your brain is designed to solve problems, make decisions, and keep you safe. But overthinking is different. Overthinking is when your brain stops solving and starts looping. Instead of reaching conclusions, your mind keeps going in circles. It's like opening 50 tabs in a browser and none of them are closing. And this constant looping creates something called cognitive overload. Your brain has limited processing capacity. When you overload it with too many thoughts, especially negative or uncertain ones, it starts to slow down. That's why overthinking doesn't make you smarter or more prepared. It actually makes you confused, tired, and mentally stuck. Here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain has a built-in alarm system designed to protect you, and it constantly scans for danger. When you overthink, especially about the future or past, your brain often interprets uncertainty as a threat, even if there's no real danger. So what happens? Your brain activates stress responses. It releases stress hormones like cortisol. Your heart rate may increase. Your body becomes tense. Your mind becomes hyper alert. Basically, your brain thinks you're in danger, even if you're just lying in bed thinking about a conversation from earlier. This is why overthinking feels exhausting, because your brain isn't just thinking, it's preparing for a threat that doesn't exist. Have you ever noticed this? The more you think about a decision, the harder it becomes to choose. That's not a coincidence. Overthinking actually interferes with your brain's decision-making system. Normally, your brain balances logic and intuition, but when you overthink, you start questioning everything. What if this goes wrong? What if I regret this? What if there's a better option? This creates something called analysis paralysis. You get stuck between choices, not because you don't know what to do, but because your brain is overwhelmed with possibilities. And ironically, the more you think, the less clear things become. Your brain learns through repetition. The more you think a certain way, the stronger those thought patterns become. So if you constantly overthink negative scenarios, your brain starts to treat them as normal. For example, if you always assume the worst, your brain starts expecting the worst. If you keep replaying mistakes, your brain keeps focusing on failure. Over time, this builds something called negative bias. Your brain becomes wired to notice problems more than solutions, and this is where overthinking becomes dangerous because it doesn't just affect your thoughts, it reshapes how your brain sees reality. Let's talk about something almost everyone experiences: overthinking at night. Why does your mind become the most active when you're trying to sleep? Because at night, there are fewer distractions. No phone, no noise, no work, just you and your thoughts. When you overthink before sleeping, your brain stays in an alert state. Instead of relaxing, it keeps analyzing, worrying, and imagining. This prevents your body from entering deep sleep, and poor sleep leads to low energy, poor focus, irritability, even more overthinking the next day. It becomes a cycle. You overthink leads to you don't sleep well, leads to your brain becomes tired, leads to, and a tired brain overthinks even more. Think about this. If your mind is constantly busy with unnecessary thoughts, how much attention do you really have left for the present moment? Not much. Overthinking divides your focus. Part of your mind is in the past. Part of it is in the future, and very little is in the present. This makes simple tasks feel harder. You may struggle to concentrate. You may feel mentally drained even without doing much work, because your brain is working overtime, just not on the right things. Overthinking is not just mental, it's emotional too. Every thought carries emotion. So when you replay negative situation or imagine worst-case scenarios, you're not just thinking them, you're feeling them again and again. This constant emotional activation leads to exhaustion. You may feel drained without doing anything, irritated, easily unmotivated, mentally tired all the time. And the worst part, you might not even realize that overthinking is the cause. Now, here's something surprising. Your brain doesn't think overthinking is a problem. In fact, it thinks it's helping you. From your brain's perspective, thinking more equals being prepared. Analyzing everything equals avoiding mistakes. Imagining outcomes equals staying safe. So your brain keeps doing it. It believes it's protecting you, but in reality, it's doing the opposite. It's draining your energy, increasing stress, and reducing clarity. Let's be honest, you can't stop thinking completely, and you shouldn't. The real issue is not thinking too much. It's not being able to control your thoughts. Overthinking is like a car without brakes. It keeps moving faster and faster without direction. What you need is not to stop the car, but to learn how to control it. Now, here's the practical part. You don't break overthinking by fighting it, because the more you try to not think, the more your brain thinks. Instead, you change your relationship with your thoughts. Here are a few simple but powerful shifts. 1. Notice. Don't react. When a thought comes, don't immediately engage with it, just observe it. Okay, I'm overthinking right now. That awareness alone reduces its power. 2. Set a time limit for thinking. Give your brain a boundary. I'll think about this for 10 minutes, then I move on. This trains your mind to stay controlled. 3. Focus on action, not possibility. Overthinking lives in what if. Reality lives in what now. Shift your focus to what you can actually do. 4. Accept uncertainty. You can't predict everything, and your brain hates that. But the moment you accept uncertainty, you remove the need to overanalyze. Conclusion. Overthinking is not just a habit, it's a pattern that affects how your brain functions, how you feel, and how you live your life. It creates stress without danger, exhaustion without effort, and confusion without clarity. But once you understand what's happening inside your brain, you realize something important. You are not your thoughts. And just because your mind is loud doesn't mean it's right. The goal is not to silence your mind completely. The goal is to take control of it. Because the moment you stop letting your thoughts control you is the moment your mind finally starts working for you instead of against you.